Hello. Hi, and welcome to my show, to my news program. I'm Jim Suriani, your host, here to talk about everything that's happening in and around the Santa Barbara community, from everywhere from Carpinteria to maybe Gaviota, all up and down the south and central coast. And why am I doing this, you ask? Well, sometimes with the way media is in the year 2019, by the way, today's date is this is just for my own records for later down the road. Today is Sunday, December 8th, 2019. And the reason I'm doing this is because a lot of times we are all bombarded with information coming from so many different sources from television, radio, print, online, various streaming services, Facebook, or Instagram, Twitter, what have you. And sometimes you just miss stuff because there's so much information coming all the time. And so, this is, in case you missed it, this is what I'm going to do from time to time. I'm hoping to do this on a daily basis, but for now, it's just going to be when I can. So, without further ado, here's some of the things that you might have missed. And this first story actually comes from KEYT News Channel 3. They reported this a couple days ago. And this is about the Flightline restaurant and the High Sierra Grill. Again, you might have heard the story, but if not, this may be new to you. Apparently, there was a claim filed against the city of Santa Barbara from the Flightline restaurant and High Sierra Grill. It was filed on November 25th, and according to KEYT News Channel 3, the city had not approved a lease transfer to Flightline after High Sierra Grill closed its doors at the Santa Barbara airport. And the claim said Warner Butler, who bought in to manage the new restaurant and take over the lease in 2017. Butler worked to obtain financing, also rebranding and renovating the space, the location. High Sierra Grill and or Flightline, depending on what you want to call it, began requesting approval of the lease transfer in early 2018 and continued the efforts through August 19th of this year, 2019. And that's according to the complaint. High Sierra Grill's claim said, quote, the city and its employees engaged in resistance and delay tactics in order to pressure HSG, or High Sierra Grill, to the point where HSG would have to shut down business so the city could take over and move forward with alternative plans for the airport. And the complaint said, quote, constituted numerous contractual breaches and contract-related wrongs were a part of that. And KEYT News Channel 3 tried to reach out to the city officials for further comment, and they have not heard back from the city yet. So they are waiting on that. And I'm sure they will have an update on this story in the next few days. So stay tuned for that. So that's pretty interesting. City of Santa Barbara is up against High Sierra Grill, and be interesting to see how that all plays out in the future. Some other stories, some more light fare, if you will, light, LITE or LIGHT, depending on where I go with this. Lots of fun, of course, for the holidays. As I mentioned, today is Sunday, December 8th, and there's a lot of wonderful events coming up for the holidays. And one of the things you might want to do, this story comes from Ed Hat, edhat.com. And Ed Hat is a local Santa Barbara website that provides information and news on all sorts of things. And if you'd like to know what's happening in Santa Barbara, that's one really good source, edhat.com. And this story was contributed by Haley Hahn, and they have another website of their own. And what this story is about are the lights in Santa Barbara, all the various neighborhoods that have lights, and how you can go about exploring them. And Haley Hahn in Ed Hat writes, every year in December, there are marvelous displays of holiday lights in Santa Barbara. If you live here, they're writing from someplace else apparently. If you live there or here, or if you happen to be visiting Santa Barbara, you and your family can have a wonderful time driving around looking at the festive decorations if you know where to look. And when you have some time on a December evening, perhaps tonight, Sunday night might be a good time to do that. The directions are actually on the Ed Hat website. Also, Haley Hahn has a link that gives detailed information, directions on where to go. The directions will take you on an amazing tour of the Santa Barbara Holiday Lights. If you drive at a reasonably slow pace, but not too slow because you don't want to hold up traffic, the entire route will take you about an hour and a quarter. If you only have time to visit one place, the most spectacular display, they say here on Ed Hat, is at 1209 East, I can never pronounce this street, Quinientos Street, Quinientos, Quinientos. I have never been able to pronounce that street. I've lived here for 50 years. On the east side of Santa Barbara, and it's just past Soledad Street. And again, there is a map on the edhat.com website or on the Haley Hahn website as well. And to take in the full lights, as I mentioned, it takes about an hour and a quarter, or maybe an hour and a half, maybe give or take, if you drive slow. And they recommend starting the tour between 6:30 p.m. and 7:30. And there are 6 parts to the tour if you want to do it yourself and drive yourself, obviously. Part 1 runs through downtown Santa Barbara. Part 2 visits the west side. Part 3 takes you over the Portezuelo Hills area. Part 4 is to the west of Las Positas. And then Part 5 leads you to the Hitchcock area. And Part 6 finishes by taking you to the east side. And again, there's a map. By the way, they say a pro tip or a hint. If you don't know your way around Santa Barbara, if you're new to the area, it's a good idea, of course, to take a GPS, a map, or maybe a real estate agent. If you're maybe thinking about moving to the Santa Barbara area, take that agent with you and they can help you find your way around in case you accidentally stray from the route. And again, the entire set of directions, the route and everything is on a click here link on the edhat.com website at the end of this article. And by the way, if you go to edhat.com, the title of the article is 2019 Santa Barbara Holiday Light Tour. So if you want to look for that on the Ed Hat page, website, again, the title of the article, 2019 Santa Barbara Holiday Light Tour, written by Haley Hahn. And then there's a link at the end of the article. You click on that and it gives you more detailed information on the directions for the light tour. And it would be a fun thing to do with your family. And my family and I, we used to call, going on a light tour, we would call it crashing for creches or nativities, crashing for creches, because you'd see, maybe a house would have a nativity or a creche, as sometimes they're called. And we'd call it crashing for creches because we'd stop suddenly and go, oh my gosh, there's a crash. Look at it. It's so pretty. So we would call it crashing for creches. Or, but if you don't want to crash, just do the light tour, and I'm sure it's a lot of fun. Speaking of light tours, something to tell you about. Unfortunately, this event has already happened, but in Carpinteria every year during the holidays, there's a Catalino School, and they have a fundraiser where they do a light tour on the Santa Barbara trolleys, and it's a really fun event. You go on the old-timey, old-fashioned looking trolleys. And they take you all around the city of Carpinteria where there are lights. And this year it featured a stop along the tour at Carpinteria Community Church, where they had a live nativity. And I mean live, meaning live people, live animals. There was a burro. The burro's name, by the way, was Burrito. I thought that was great. Burrito the burro. And also there was a cow and sheep and shepherds and wise men. Actually, the funny part is the only thing that wasn't live was the baby Jesus. The baby Jesus was a little doll that had a cute little smile on its face. Obviously, you wouldn't use a real infant. That would be kind of not too good. Especially because this year it rained a little bit and that wouldn't have been good either. So, but that was really neat. They had like a Star of Bethlehem that was mounted to the bell tower of the church. And then they had a stable that was kind of rustic looking. It was really neat. And if you missed it this year, maybe you can check it out next year. It's a fundraiser for Catalino Elementary School. I'm not sure how much the tickets were, but you might want to check that out for next year. And also, I think the trolleys do regular tours throughout Santa Barbara as well. I'm not sure of their information, but throughout the whole holiday season, I think they have tours throughout Santa Barbara. Speaking of tours and holiday events, some more information. I have here my Santa Barbara Independent, which is probably backwards to you on the camera, but the Santa Barbara Independent, their weekly paper this time around, which is dated December 5th through the 12th, is called "Tis the Season," and they have a complete guide to Santa Barbara's holiday happenings. And I just thought I would thumb through some of these here. Again, this is in this week's Independent, but if you didn't get a chance to pick it up, let me just read it to you. And you can just follow along as I read aloud. You remember how your teachers would tell you to follow along as I read aloud. And just to note some of the different events here, let me see if I can find them. Speaking of events, while I'm looking for the "Tis the Season" holiday happenings in this week's Santa Barbara Independent, one happening that you might want to check out, shameless plug, I'm sorry, but in Carpinteria, we are doing a production of A Christmas Carol. And if you're watching this, hopefully this isn't too far in the future for you, but um, December 12th through the 15th, 2019. So if you're watching this now, it's coming up December 12th through the 19th at the Alcazar Theater in Carpinteria. We are doing a production of A Christmas Carol, and it's an adaptation by the director of our production. Her name is Osa Olson, and it's one weekend only. It's only December 12th through the 15th. And I'm still trying to find this guide. Do 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 la la. Anyway, December 12th through the 15th, and I, yours truly, play Jacob Marley, and then Philip Moreno plays Ebenezer Scrooge. And I think I'm going too far here. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, okay, I think I found it. Okay. Anyway, Philip Moreno plays Ebenezer Scrooge. I play Jacob Marley. And again, it runs December 12th through the 15th at the Alcazar Theater in downtown Santa Barbara. And for tickets, you want to call 805-684-6380. You can also visit thealcazar.org, I believe. But you can also Google that, the Alcazar, Alcazar. I'm trying to remember from it. Anyway, the Alcazar Theater in Carpinteria, on Carpinteria Avenue. Look it up. And again, it's December 12th to the 15th. And shows on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are at 7 p.m. And then there's a matinee and an evening performance Sunday the 15th. Matinee's at 2 p.m. The evening performance is at 5. But all the other performances are at 7 p.m. So come check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. We're in the last round of rehearsals, last week of rehearsals. Okay, so in the Independent, some of the events, just to run through some of them, there's a lot here. And again, if you missed this, you can pick up the Independent. Again, I guess, sorry, it's backwards. If it's still available on newsstands, or you can also go online as well. They have their information online. Speaking of light tours, we've been talking about light tours. There is the Jewel Fest Candle Light Tours, and this is behind the scenes walking and caroling tour of the downtown village of Solvang. Solvang's a beautiful town. It's a Danish setting, and it's a great place to go for the holidays. It looks so much like Christmas. But anyway, they're doing a Jewel Fest Candlelight Tour, and that is already passed, so never mind. It already happened a day ago. And some of these might be kind of futile to read all of this. Let's see here if we can find one that's coming up later in December. Maybe not. Everything's kind of all this weekend, and maybe a little bit next weekend. We also, you can meet Santa at Paseo Nuevo, and he's going to be at Paseo Nuevo Mall through the holiday season, of course. And you can, for information, you can call for free information 900-7385. I'm not sure if that's right. But you know what, though? You can go to paseonuevoshopping.com/holiday to learn more about Santa and the times that he's going to be available through December 24th. And again, that's at Paseo Nuevo Mall. And you can log on to paseonuevoshappening.com/holiday. And again, if you missed that, Paseo Nuevo... It's paseonuevoshopping.com/holiday. I can read, and I'm so glad I have my glasses on. Anyway, that's paseonuevoshopping.com/holiday for Santa Claus. Also, photos with Santa are going to be at La Cumbra Plaza as well. And to learn more about that, you can visit shoplacumbra.com/events. Again, that's shoplacumbra.com/events to do photos with Santa at La Cumbra Plaza as well. And then reindeer are going to be at the zoo, at the Santa Barbara Zoo, and that's always a lot of fun. The children can go and see the reindeer. You can come meet Cookie and Peppermint. Those are the reindeer. Two of Santa's backup reindeer who are visiting from the North Pole through December 31st. So they're going to be there all the way through the month of December at the Santa Barbara Zoo from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Santa Barbara Zoo, which is located at 500 Niños Drive, in case you're not from here. And it's free. And to learn more, you can call 962-5339. That's 962-5339, or visit sbzoo.org. Again, that's sbzoo.org. And I think that's going to do it for this edition of my news program on my YouTube channel, and it'll be posted everywhere else as well. But and to learn more about me, you can visit my website, jimsirianni.com. That's JIMSIRIANNI.com, to learn more about what I might be up to. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Boop.